Hi, everybody. Happy Monday or Wednesday. Welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning viewer, or welcome if this is your first time, this is Calypso over to my right. And today, about 20 minutes ago or less, this baby showed up. I'm so excited. There were some really beautiful and really cool looking books in the Allurial for July to pick from. If you don't know what Allurial is, it is a romantasy subscription box. Don't knock over the camera. Oh my goodness. It is a romantasy subscription box. It is actually run by the Book of the Month Club. You get to choose from 3 books that they pick every single month. You can add up to 3. You can get all 3 of them if you want to, or you can just choose one for 1 token, and then you can add up to 2 more for an additional fee. You can also add past books as well. So I chose 2 books this month. One because the plot sounded really cool. And the other because the plot sounded interesting. It kind of reminded me of The Phoenix Keeper. But I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like kind of what it's going for. But then I saw the sprayed edges on accident, and I was like, oh, well, that's coming home with me. So it just arrived. I've been waiting so impatiently for this because 4th of July was on a Saturday. There was no mail on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So this has been a little bit delayed. And I've not been patient at all. I've not been patient at all. So this is so excited. The book I actually picked for my monthly selection, I tried not to spoil it for myself. I have only seen the front cover. I have not seen the sprayed edges at all. I don't think that I've even seen the back. I've definitely haven't seen the end pages inside. So I'm really excited. Calypso's really excited. That's what she has to say. And she knows that my pick has something to do with a tiger. So she's very excited. So let's take a look. So here is a sneak preview of my monthly pick. Does anybody know what it is? I've seen this book pop up a lot on Fable recently. So maybe you know what's going on. Look, Calypso, isn't that gorgeous? I know, it looks just like her. Look at that. Looks just like her. Now she's going to knock the camera over because I dared to pick her up. Oh my gosh. All right, let's open this. Oh my goodness. Look how gorgeous is that cover. Look at that. Wow. That is stunning. Oh my gosh. So this is Dominion. On the back it says, "You are a songbird and your song, it's irresistible." Ooh! That's so nice. All right. Let's look at these sprayed edges. I still haven't seen them. I haven't even glanced at them. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, yes. I was really hoping it would have a tiger. Thank you, Calypso. I was really hoping it would have a tiger or it would have some stripes on it. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Wow. Same on top. Oh my goodness. That is it's so intricate. Look at those tiny marks. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm just going to keep staring at it as Calypso tries to knock over my camera. Stop. Okay. let's see these end pages. Let me take this off. I don't like that Allurial. Well, it's not that I don't like it. It is, come here. It is slightly disappointing that Allurial doesn't do a hardback special edition underneath the dust jacket, like Illumicrate or Owlcrate or some of those other books. I think Owlcrate does it as well. It's kind of disappointing to me that they don't do it as well, but I know that that would drive up the price. And I think Allurial, in my opinion, is one of the more affordable special edition subscription boxes. Um, I haven't tried to get on Illumicrate's wait list or anything like that just because of the price. I think Allurial is a much more affordable, friendly. It's also here in the US, so I don't pay for shipping or anything like that. And so it makes it worth its value. But I am sad that they don't decorate their covers. But I mean, the dust jacket is gorgeous. All right, let's take a look. Woo! Wow. Look at that. Oh my God, look at the tiger. Oh, it was the tiger for me. I mean, the plot is fantastic, but oh my gosh, that tiger. Let's see. It's the same on the back end page as it is on the front. Let's see if we have. So this is Dominion Book 1, The Silk and Iron Trilogy. Jean Kwok, I think. Kwok, maybe. Let's see if we have a map. We do not. We just have a prologue and then immediately part 1. Oh my gosh. That is stunning. That is stunning. So let's take a read as to what we've got here. A woman with no past, a warrior with no future. Their love could save the world or burn it down. In a world divided into 4 rival dominions, power is everything, and Ruby Morningtail has almost none. 3 years after the annihilation destroyed her homeland and shattered her memories, she lives as an Azure refugee in the dominion of the Silver Tiger, scraping by as a ribbon dancer and hiding her little bit of singing magic. When she wounds a massive battle tiger on her doorstep, she draws the notice of Blake Axefire, supreme metal mage, leader of the Royal Tiger Warriors, and the last man an Azure should trust. His sentence? Cast her into the bonding, a brutal trial where tigers choose their riders and slaughter the rest. Surviving is unthinkable. Yeah, I was really intrigued by this plot. But survive she does. Now she's stuck on Blake's elite team racing to reseal the anchors to the demon realm. With rebels striking, demons rising, and the dominions at each other's throats, Ruby must unlock the truth of her magic and her past, while resisting her dangerous attraction to the ruthless warrior who could be her redemption or her ruin. And I love a good fantasy tiger book. If you grew up in the 2000s like I did, then you know about the Tiger's Curse saga. It's a book written for tweens, to be sure. The writing is not that great. But I just devoured the plot, especially in my like really early 20s, I think is when I picked up that book set. It's 4 books and it's written by Colleen Huak, I think. She's got several young adult tweenish series, all kind of set in that type of fantasy situation, all kind of got that they all kind of have that Vampire Diaries type of vibe of one girl who's kind of plucked out of the middle of nowhere. There's nothing special about her. She's totally ordinary. And then suddenly some type of magical fantasy happens to her and suddenly she's everything and everybody wants to, be around her and have her attention and stuff like that. I'm also reading another one of her series that is about ancient Egyptian magic and about mummies. I'm in the 2nd book with that one. All right, so this is our first book with its matching bookmark. The blue on that, it really, like the blue there really pops. Oh, I love that tiger. Okay, so the second book I got was really interesting because the second book is an Allurial pick, but it was also a Book of the Month Club pick. So, which I thought was kind of cheating. I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird to have, like, it's owned by the same company, to have one of your Allurial club picks be all special edition-y and, go all out with the sprayed edges and all that stuff. And then have your Book of the Month pick be the same thing so that you could have it in the regular, like the published cover. But like, why would you? I feel like if you are the same company, and you would have to know that some of your subscribers, if not a good chunk of your subscribers, have both subscriptions. Why would you waste one of the choices on the same book? A Book of the Month usually has 5 to 7 picks for you to choose from, and like I that was their fantasy pick for this month. And it's like, well, I didn't pick your fantasy pick because I picked it in your Allurial subscription box. What if you had picked a different fantasy book and I had gotten more books in my Book of the Month Club pick? I don't know. I feel like it was a waste to have the same book in the Allurial subscription box and in the Book of the Month box. Like, as a business standpoint, why double up on the same pick? Maleficent has joined us. Hello. Why double up on the same pick when you could have picked a different fantasy for either Allurial or Book of the Month in the hopes that I choose another book? I don't know. I don't run a business, so yeah. But anyway, the other pick is the Winged Game, and this involves phoenixes, I believe. I think these are phoenixes. Phoenixes or griffins? Let's find out. Anyway, we've got some very reflective gold going on. We have phoenixes or griffins, whatever these are, and then you can see there's an arena in the backgrounds and some feathers. Here we have the back, Your Mind to Hate. Put that over here. And then let's take a look. Oh, look at those pinks, oranges, and yellows. Woo! Not me throwing my special edition brand new book around on the floor. Not at all. Take a look at that. So yeah, as soon as I saw the sprayed edges, I was like, you know what? It does indeed sound good enough to read, or at least display up there on my sprayed edge shelf. Let's take a look at the end pages. Okay, so we just have clouds with some falling feathers. There we go. Same on the back. Sometimes they're different, usually not. And then do we have a map? No map. It goes straight into the prologue, which apparently is set in July 2024. Didn't know that we had griffins and phoenixes in 2024. Let's take a read as to what this book is about. Fantasy meets sports romance in this sizzling slow burn novel. Oh, okay. It's gonna be sporty. Wow, that is a name. Carrie Witchett. That's what I'm going with. Carrie Witchett. The violent rugby-esque game played atop winged beast was once Tasia's. I think it's Tasa's. Tasa chose whole life, and she was once the United Kingdom's most promising player until her nemesis, rival player Keon Locke, ruined everything in a single moment. Expelled from the sport in disgrace, Taysa has spent the last 2 years dreaming of nothing but revenge and relishing watching Kion's team plummet to the bottom of the league. This is very appropriate since it's World Cup season. This is good. But when Taysa is offered the chance to redeem herself in her career, she can't refuse, even if the offer is coming from the very man who ruined everything in the first place. It's close to a dream come true, except for for that pesky clause in her contract that demands she and Keon enter a fake relationship in order to garner some much needed positive PR for the team. This could not be a worse match. Taysa and Keon have only two things in common: their love of the game and their undying hatred for each other. And see, this is kind of why I didn't originally choose it, because I'm kind of burnt out with fake dating at the moment. But then I read, yet as a mysterious illness befalls the winged creatures of the league, putting both the beasts' lives and the very sport itself at stake, the athletes find themselves partnering up in other ways, determined to crack the case of the eerie sickness. So that was interesting to me. I do like a book that has a good animal vibe. And it doesn't say what kind of animals these are. Oh, look. And it's got interludes with like mixed media. Ooh, I love that. I love good mixed media when they sneak in news clippings, fake interviews, social media posts. I love that. So, what are these things called? Oh, I saw griffins. Why doesn't it just say griffins in the. Oh, they're called. Well, this says wingeds, a winged with a capital W. It seems like there's going to be a lot of world building vocabulary that's going to slow me down in this. A, because it's going to introduce some type of fantasy game that I'm going to need to know the rules for, which is apparently close to rugby, which I don't watch. And then B, whatever animal this is and the vocabulary that goes along with that animal, the things that are worn to ride it, how it interacts with life itself. Yeah, seems like there's going to be, and probably stuff with the arena. I bet the vocabulary in here is going to be intimidating. But so these are our two Allurial reads for the month of July. I'm so excited about this one in particular. I'm so excited about this one. I think I'm going to have to add this to my already extremely ambitious July TBR, because I I just can't wait. I just can't wait. This is going to be so good. Hello again. Shortly after the Allurial box arrived, I was watching some YouTube videos of various people doing their July TBRs. And this one YouTube user, in case of bookishness, I believe she's called, was doing her July TBR. She had a jar situation. She was picking out prompts from a jar and then finding books on her TBR shelf to read to fit her prompts for this month. And she had the most gorgeous edition of this book called Bloodbound, which I had actually seen on, I believe it was like a special edition for Book of the Month Club. Something about the edition made me not go with it. I think because I had just had gotten a bunch of special editions, or it would have meant that my box didn't ship for like 2 weeks because they had to wait until a certain date for the book to come out, or what have you. So I didn't get it, but the plot sounded really interesting. It was about a war between witches and dragons, right up my alley, exactly what I love reading. I'm so glad that I decided not to get that book, because that edition that the YouTuber in case of bookishness had was the most gorgeous thing. So I decided to go online and try to find that edition. It's The edition is through Illumicrate, which is a subscription box. It's extremely difficult to get a hold of because they actually have a wait list. They're so popular. And honestly, it's a subscription box that I'm not very interested in, because I like to have choices and I like to know the book that I'm getting before it arrives in the mail. I like to pick out what I'm receiving. So I've looked at Illumicrate. You can shop on Illumicrate and find their special edition books that they have extras of, and their different like trinkets and stuff, because they also have a book box that has bookish things that are themed around certain very popular books. So unfortunately, Bloodbound was not available, and I can understand why, because oh my gosh, that edition was stunning. I mean, just jaw-dropping. The hardback cover, the dust jacket, the sprayed edges. I mean, it just gorgeous, just gorgeous. So I was not shocked, and I commented on the on In Case of Bookishness video, and I said, hey, love your edition, drooling over it, that's awesome. Just kind of mentioned that I couldn't find it on Illumicrate, that it was sold out, because obviously. And she replied to me and she said, have you tried Pango Books or Vinted? And I had heard about Vinted. I thought Vinted was just clothes, though. That's kind of what the ads on YouTube make it sound like, that it's just for selling clothes. So I went to Vinted, couldn't find it, went to Pango Books, found like 4 copies of it, ranging from, oh my gosh, I would never pay for that kind of book, to, oh, that's not terrible for what it is. It arrived today, and I was not expecting it to arrive in the Fairy Loot Illumicrate original box. Oh my gosh. I have not opened it yet. I'm so excited. So let's take a look inside. Oh, it's so pretty. Wow. It is still in the bubble wrap. Look at this. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Wow. Oh my goodness. But then this. Oh my gosh. It is so glorious. Look at that. Just, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, those dragon scales are something else. And it's plain on the top and on the bottom, but those dragon scales, this is being displayed in the living room. So anyway, here's the back. Let's look at the rest of our book. Try not to spoil it for myself. So here we have our end pages. We can see our 2 characters there and our dragons. Oh my gosh, that's so gorgeous. Is it the same on the back? It is not. Oh, wow. Very cool. That is stunning. Look at that. And then so here is the front cover. This is another reason I was so taken with it. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Wow. That is just gorgeous. Oh my gosh. And then there is a reversible dust jacket. So this is the original cover. This is the cover that I saw on Book of the Month. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's really pretty. I didn't notice though that this was like, this is like a panther looking thing with wings. And then you have the dragon up top. So yeah, and this is co-written by 2 friends who wanted to write about 2 friends. Katie Ellis Brown is an Irish-British writer and editor who lives in Cornwall. Becky Hunter is a UK-based author, book publicist, and romance reader who is currently ruled by her 2 rescue ponies. Bloodbound is a love letter to the genre and their debut novel together. So this is so cool. I mean, look at that. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to display this so that you can see definitely this, but then also the polar bear and the panther thing. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous. I am so excited that I was able to find this. And yeah, I can't wait to. I mean, even this is just stunning. But yeah. So yeah, I decided to tack that on to this video because man, have there been some gorgeous special editions. And I just wanted to share because they are super cool. And I was so excited to receive this today from New York. There is also a letter from the authors. Oh, and we have an additional, so here's our letter, and we have an additional end page with our, I love this panther dragon thing. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to read about this. And then she's got a little tiny cat on her shoulder. It's adorable. And we do have a beautiful map. I'm so excited about this. Now, let me show you what I got. Not as fancy, but still just as wonderful, what I got from Book of the Month Club. Okay. We have In Stormy Weather, which is a romance set in Florida during hurricane season, which I thought was very appropriate for me. And we have Romantic Hero, which is kind of quite buzzy. It's getting a lot of attention. It is about an author whose character jumps out of his book and like demands to be rewritten or demands a new ending or something like that. To wrap up this video, if you ever wanted to know what happens to the boxes, they go to the animals, of course. Here's Targaryen, a ball python, enjoying a Book of the Month box as his new hide in his enclosure. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you next time. Let's get reading!